Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today, I will be telling you everything you need to know on how to qualify to FNCS Division 2. I recently posted a guide on how you can qualify for the Solo Cash Cup Finals, and you all wanted a Trios guide. So today, I will be giving you the best tips and tricks, which also apply to qualifying for Division 1, but for the sake of the video, most of you watching will be in Division 3. I'll be splitting the video into sections, so skip to whatever part helps you the most. Firstly, I will be talking about the format, so for those who know what the divisional cups are, this is the time to skip ahead so I'm not wasting your time. For those who are new to competitive, to qualify for FNCS at the end of the season, you will have to go through 3 different divisional cups. These cups are a 2-day competition where your points from day 1 and day 2 are combined and you will get your final placement, with Division 3 being the lowest and where everyone is placed. Then the top 200 between both days of Division 3 qualify to Division 2, which will be our main focus today, and the top 40 between both days of Division 2 qualify to Division 1. Once you qualify to Division 1, you automatically qualify for FNCS play-ins at the end of the season, and you can play in Division 1 each week to try and earn your spot in the top 33 to play finals for cash prizes. Day 1 will take place every Wednesday, and Day 2 will take place every Thursday each week. I will be listing the times of each Division 3 Cup on every region on screen now in EST time zone, so translate it to your current time zone. EU will be from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. EST, and Day 2 will be from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. EST the following day. NA Central will be from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. EST, and Day 2 will be from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. EST the following day. NA West will be from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. EST, and Day 2 will be from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. EST the following day. OC will be from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. EST, and Day 2 will be from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. EST the following day. Brazil will be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST, and Day 2 will also be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST the following day. Asia will be from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. EST, and Day 2 will also be from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. EST the following day. And finally, Middle East will be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. EST, and Day 2 will be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. EST the following day. To qualify, you will need to get as many points as you can between both days. EU will be around 590 points, NA Central will be around 555 points, NA West will be around 523 points, Brazil will be around 551 points, Asia will be around 575 points, and OC will be around 510 points. Finally, Middle East will be around 487 points to qualify. So whatever these points say for your region, divide it in half, and that's what you have to get day 1 and day 2. Moving on to the point format. The point format is 65 points for a win and 1 point per kill. So the placement to kill ratio is 65 to 1. This means you would have to get 65 kills to match a win. So playing for placement is definitely the main priority. Moving on from that, I will be discussing the most important thing in the whole video, and that is figuring out what team member is playing what role. When it comes to trios, roles are the most important factor to gaining successful placements, and keeping comms uncluttered and knowing who should be talking and who should be focused on getting refreshes. Trios is divided up into 3 roles. IGL, which stands for the in-game leader. The IGL's main objective is to be the primary team member to be talking and is the one who makes the decisions on the team and leads, rotates, and tarps endgames. Next, we have the fragger. The fragger should be the best fighter on the team. They are the ones who look for refreshes endgame and carries most of the fights and gains a lot of surge damage. Finally, we have the support player, which they are the ones to carry the heavy heals and give mats to the IGL endgame and help the fragger get refreshes. So pick one of these roles that fits you best and figure out what role your teammates should be or which teammates you should be looking for. Moving on to mobility, I talked about in my solo cash cup guide, and it's going to be the same in this guide as well. Most of you know the kneecapper or the bat is the primary mobility this season, but fighting 3 bats is very difficult, so I'd carry Sub-Zero's gauntlets if you can't find one. If you can't find Sub-Zero's gauntlets, then I would carry launch pads. I did a comparison test in my solo guide to show exactly how much better the bat is compared to Sub-Zero's gauntlets, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to keep it short for you guys, and if you would like an in-depth video on mobility, go watch my solo guide. Link will be in the description below. Moving on to loadouts, quick reminder, if you're new to competitive and do not know, snipers and mammoth pistols and sticky launchers are not in competitive. I'll leave a picture on screen now of everything that's in the competitive loot pool. The best loadout to carry in trios is the IGL should hold a hollow AR and pump. The fragger should hold a pump and an AUG or hollow, whatever you may prefer, and the support player should carry a pump and the collateral AR to help get elims. And before anyone goes and comments down below, but why carry the collateral AR? What about surge tags, all that? Well, well. Between the IGL and the Fragger, they should be able to get enough surge on their own, as well as the support should be able to get a couple low damage tags with the collateral AR. Moving on to heals, the IGL should carry gold splashes to help with rotates and a chug jug or big pots if possible. The Fragger should hold minis in a blob, and the support should hold mist grenades and some sort of shields, and maybe another blob if possible. Moving on to tips to prepare for the division cups is getting a good drop spot that your whole team is confident in. Once you find a drop spot, you will need a drop map. A drop map is a map that tells you when to pull out your glider to give you the best drop to your drop spot, making you the first one to land and get a gun off spawn. You can either make your own or buy one. I recommend buying one from dropmap.net as it's the easiest and most efficient way to do it. I'll leave the link in the description below. Now moving on to some more important tips that will apply to everyone no matter the division you're in is rotating this season. If you have played, you will know that mobility is extremely rough, so your IGL will need to make sure they are on top of rotations. You will need to rotate every single zone, including 5th, 6th, and 7th zone, so you will have to loot very fast so you can get in a good spot to get surge damage so you can rotate to the middle of 3rd zone as fast as possible, which leads me into my next tip is why rotate to the middle of 3rd zone. What if I told you that you could practically predict where every zone was going to pull? Since the release of chapter 6, zones have been extremely predictable up until 6th zone. Alrighty, so yes, this season it is very easy to predict zones, and I will show you guys right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw a 3rd zone. So it's gonna still be pretty big, right? I know it's a bad circle, but let's say this is 3rd zone, right? You're gonna want to make sure you get center right here, and so that way when 4th zone opens, as soon as 4th zone opens, you can get the center of 4th zone, and I'll tell you why. A different circle, so let's say it pulls more over here, you can instantly run from wherever you were. So let's say like you're kind of like on edge right here, you can run straight over here to center of 4th zone, right? And the reason why you want to be center of 4th zone, if you are dead center of 4th zone, you will guarantee pull 5th zone, and you will most likely be on the edge of 5th zone wherever it pulls. But if you are dead center of 4th zone, you will always 100% of the time guarantee get 5th zone. Once you're on edge of 5th zone, then you now have a 25% chance of pulling half and half, right? And there's a lot of the times where I will pull zone. So if zone pulls, like if half and half zone pulls there, like let's say it pulls out like right here, that is 3 zones that you haven't had to move at all, and that's just that many more mats you have saved just by doing this strategy. If half and half were to pull here and you're right here, I would just white line it straight in, get to zone as fast as you possibly can. So if you're on the edge over here, I'd recommend wrapping around, as it's going to be the easiest way possible to get into the zone. Moving on to some endgame tips, you want to always make sure your team is elevated. You should never be sitting on low ground as a trio with lots of mats. The only time you should be sitting on low ground is if it's final moving or if you're low on materials. So make sure to always stay elevated, and there's 2 reasons for this. Reason 1 is that all the teams on low ground that are out of mats will be jumping your box, most likely with a baseball bat, because let's just be real, to get a refresh, and that's a big risk that you shouldn't even be taking. Reason number 2 is that when you're elevated, it makes it way easier to rotate to the next zone, where when you're on low ground and you're stuck under a lot of builds, you could get held and take a lot of storm damage. It's way easier to go down than it is to go up. Moving on to another tip is make sure you are constantly looking at height to try and chop and take over height. Gaining height is one of the best positions to put your team in to win the game. Another tip is making sure as the IGL to make clear comms and don't hesitate on your plays. Also, don't leave your teammates in the dust. If you have to box up, wait for your teammates to catch up with you, then do so, but make sure you are calming everything that you're thinking. My final tip is when you're in a mid-game fight or any fight is don't be afraid to try and leave the fight. You don't always have to finish a fight. The longer you stay in a fight, the more scuffed you are going to be coming out of that fight, whether you lose and have to go into a new game or if you win. Moving on to some simple trio practices you can do is 3v3 zone wars, or realistic 3v3s are a great way to build chemistry and help improve your fighting skills as a team. Another great practice routine is scrims. I'd recommend playing NA practice scrims. They have solo, duo, and trio scrims, and they host cash tournaments, as well as I personally use NA practice scrims all the time, and I think it's a great way to improve your endgame skills. I'll leave the link to their Discord server in the description down below, as well as the comments on this video. And my final practice method is making sure to VOD review. This is a great way to see your mistakes and find out what you need to improve on. With that being said, that's going to conclude today's video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on it, and if we can manage to get 200 likes on today's video, I will make a guide on whatever the most commented guide is on this video. I'd also like to shout out Stamer915 for being so supportive of the channel, and if you would like a chance to be shouted out in a future video, make sure to drop a comment down below, as well as if you have any questions at all, please don't be afraid to ask. I will answer every single comment on this video. I'd also like to thank you all for helping me hit 3,000 subscribers. It means so much to me. Just last year from today, I only had 600 subscribers, and I'm so thankful for how far we've come, and I can't wait to see what the future brings. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to follow me on this competitive journey, that's what you need to do, as well as making sure to use code OSLOTYT in the Fortnite item shop. Without further ado, have a great rest of your day or night, and I'm out. Peace.